大家好，我会用中文来进行我今天的简报。
皆さん、
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to give my presentation in Chinese.
报告的一个题目是如何建造一座舒适、温暖、充满创造力与凝聚力的城市。
What I'll be talking about this morning, the theme is how to have a creative, comfortable, creative city environment.
未来之前，我想从一个过去的事件开始讲起。这个是刚刚南条先生提到的，我们正在台北跟森美馆一起举办的代谢派的未来都市展。这个是在日本发生，唯一非欧美国家进行的一个前卫的一个建筑运动。
Before talking about future, let me talk about the past and the present. As Mr. Nanjo said at the very beginning, in Taipei, metabolism architecture exhibition is underway. Metabolism is the only Asian-born architectural movement.
东京举行的时候，一群年轻的建筑师、评论家以及设计者提出了他们认为东京、认为日本在未来应该呈现的一个样貌。
During the 1960s, many architects and designers from around the world gathered to talk about the future development of architecture and design.
在后来的10多年间，他们发展了许多的计划，以及实现了很多的案例，让人们期待亚洲自己的时代真正的来临。
そして
And metabolism movement architects 10 years later came up with various ideas to focus on the typical Asian architecture and attracted a lot of attention. 50 years later, let us look at where we are today.
9个主要城市的照片，我们可以看到亚洲的城市其实仍然在西方的理论与实务的影响下，呈现出越来越同质化的现象，也越来越失去自我。
What you're looking at now, there are 9 photographs altogether. They're all from different parts of Asia. In the rapid progress and development, everyone was impacted and influenced by Western influence, and therefore they all became the same. And this is true for urban development, urban planning, and the architecture, building design as well. And communication, the way we communicate, the way we sell, the same story here. So everyone is leading the same lifestyle.
不可以为社会做些什么？
So what can architecture do for society? And in what way can architecture collaborate with other disciplines? And through that challenge, what are we doing? What kind of exploration have we been doing is what I'd like to talk about next.
人跟人自己、人跟社会之间，以及人跟环境之间友善良好的关系。
What you just saw is the JUT Group logo. If you look at this logo, you can tell that humans in society, human environment, the relationship amongst all those is what we are focusing on.
跟生活方面，一个是在文化跟教育方面。
One is the life system and architectural development system and cultural system. The 3 parts comprise the whole.
筹跟方式都不一样，但是我们整体的目标是希望利用私人企业的方式来对台北的城市做一些改变。
それぞれの
They all represent different disciplines, but the characteristics of these different disciplines are to be enhanced so that they can result in some typical Taipei characteristics. What's most important is to have the collaboration amongst different disciplines, and I'm interested in whether that can give a different thrust. Next, I'd like to talk about the experiments over the last 5 years. The first is with regards to the integration of the life system and the cultural system. In Taipei, or we are trying to change the story of Taipei, story of life in Taipei. Here I'm showing you the location of our JUT Group. We are located in the center of Taipei.
城市越来越没有街道越来越没有魅力，变成单纯的过道。
This has always been a very active place. There are several large department stores, bustling city center. But this meant that very few people would actually be walking along the streets because they all just go to the department stores. So to counter these large-scale department stores, JUT Group created several interesting small retail stores. Through these retail stores, other companies also became interested in setting up their own outlets, which attracted more people walking along the streets. And we want them to be aware of, to rediscover the compelling attractions of the street. We organized a festival so as to influence the city.
带入了许多表演、艺术等等的活动。
The street along the headquarters is about 300 meters long. Once every year, the Light Festival is held.
街道生活的魅力。
Many events are held so that people can feel the excitement of the city. And in summer, there's another event that is held each year.
那文化系统跟建设开发如何来结合呢？
The cultural system and architectural development system integration, that's another challenge that we are pursuing.
地、空间以及许多的网络。
One private developer company actually has many resources. Open these resources to the rest of the society and to open opportunities as well. For example, festivals, workshops, exhibitions. We wanted to provide such opportunities to society. Museum of Tomorrow is a program which is so designed to offer the resources that the company has, but is idle. What you are looking at now is in the center of Taipei, the exhibition held in the city. Rice for Thoughts is the title of this exhibition, or in Chinese we call it do the field work on fair days and read, study on rainy days. That is the traditional attitude of the intellects of China regarding cultural activities. The land used for this exhibition was originally a farmland, but it remained idle for over 50 years. But as a result of this exhibition, it was converted back into the rice paddy again. And many artists in Taiwan learned that they should actually use their body to express their art to the Taiwanese audience. I'd like to next talk about the JUT Architectural Institute. This is a program in which, through exhibitions and research activities, explore the possible development of Taiwan in the area of architecture. And we have been looking into very specific areas.
规划的不足以及消费者需求的多元化。
Illegal architecture is rather common in Taiwan.
不足して
The illegal architecture originates from the fact that the design itself is defective, and therefore there'll be more work created for the builders. And we wanted to look at the positive aspect of that movement. Ruin Academy or Ruins is one of that.
它与真正的自然就永遠隔絕了。
もともとの建築
The original building architecture, once it is completed, will be isolated from the nature.
进来了，风进来了，雨进来了，接下来植物跟野生动物都进来了。
人間が
When humans use the building, and after a while, the humans would leave, and the building will turn into abandoned buildings, and they turn into ruins, by which time the nature is restored. If we are to think about the future and how we can live in harmony with nature, I think ruins can give us good clues. Through workshops, we actually worked on the actual ruins, renovate the ruins, and convert them into new forms of ruins. Inside the ruins, the research and study programs were conducted. Finally, but not the least, I'd like to talk about the vertical village.
を開催しました。
We made an exhibition of the vertical village. This exhibition is to research Asian cities in Asia in olden days. All those cities were villages. Cities, as I mentioned earlier, development of cities, through the development of cities, originally what was a village became very dense cities. However, old villages were very organic, very flexible in nature. We need to look at villages again to learn good things about villages. And just like this, research and and also finally we held exhibition. Illegal architecture, the ruins, and the village, these three things. Currently, those architecture students, maybe you regard these as the things of the past. But these three things are actually existing in our lives. These three things reflect the wisdom of the citizens. We are, among these three things, trying to learn some things that are different from other people. Lastly, residence program will be discussed. This residence program is using unused space and buildings. There are two examples. One is residence which is not occupied. The other one is a warehouse which is not used. These unused buildings are utilized for arts and design hubs. Exhibitions can be held here. Various performances can be held. And artists, creative activities can be used for places for creative activities, and workshops can be held. Could be used as offices and also a place for exchange. For local people, it can be a community center for the local people. Like these programs and events are recorded in a form of publishing. And next, how we are headed for the future. Thinking about these things, the new and latest plans will be discussed. What I'm thinking is that the three systems of JUT Group will be integrated. This plan is for a certain area in Taipei. An event is being planned. And first, I would like to show you what area looked like. This is a very densely populated area, and formal planning was there, and also informal development. And nightlife. The elements of nightlife were regarded as very important in this area. Scattered, green, and the usage of buildings were very complicated. And already in this area, JUT Group buildings and residential plan already exist. In the future, those residential plans will be further developed. In the future, cultural facilities will be incorporated, for example, galleries and space for exhibition and theaters. And these creative commercial facilities will grow in the number. In this area, for this planning in this area, we conducted 4 researches and 3 workshops were held, and an exhibition was held. The topic of this research is approaches of a humanistic and social aspects. And Taiwanese architects and European architects were invited, and to have them make proposals for the future of this area. And what I'm thinking about is that this type of research and workshops and results of proposals will be reflected into the project of the JUT project in the future. And as you have seen, 2022, these are our goals for 2022. Lastly, comfortable and warm and creative ability city with such ability is what we would like to construct. That is the topic of today. What I'm thinking is that always think, always act, then tomorrow will be different. For better tomorrow. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.